All right, we are live. We are live. We are live. Hello everyone. Hello artists. Hello conscious creatives. I am here today with another video, and this is a special video. This one is all about the business model canvas for artists and for creatives. I have been using it with Tronn Moller, who is joining us here today. He has been my coach for almost 2 years, and the things that we have done and unpacked through the use of his business model canvas that he introduced me to, I am seeing manifest in beautiful and exciting ways. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into that. Just allow me, please, to introduce myself real quick. My name is Myesha Francis. I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, I'm a curator, and most of all, I am a coach for conscious creatives and artists who are here to help raise the vibration of the planet, of humanity, and who share and spread messages of love and light through their artistry, through their creativity. So that is who I am. And without further ado, please, Mr. Moller, if you will introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Myesha. I appreciate it. Just want to, the big thanks, right? The big thanks to you for this space and just the opportunity to be able to just be in your space and to watch, your vision manifest and watch your plans and what you're doing, come alive, right? And so part of my role, my goal, my passion, my mission, is, by day I do history teaching. So I'm passionate about the story of people and the story of businesses and just the story. I'm passionate about the story, but I also like to facilitate just getting in the midst of it, people, and just let them share their ideas. And then the back end coach, all right, is helping pushing on one end and asking those questions and pushing people to, their own realities and their space and doing what they love to do. And so that's, it's all about, the Myeshas, it's all about the creatives, it's all about, what they want to do. And just my role is to be able to do that, help that manifest, in your space and in real time.
Yeah.
So thank you for this space,
Well, thank you for doing what you do. And let me tell you, y'all, he is good. He will help you to unpack things that you weren't even thinking. You were thinking, but he knows how to ask the questions and to get it out and to make it clear. So please try and tell us, what is the business model canvas and how does it help artists work through what they're trying to do?
Yep.
Let's start with what is the business model canvas?
Yeah, sure. I'll just that quick story on that. So several years ago, I was flying home from working with some clients, and I love to kind of go into the airport or go into bookstores. I love bookstores overall, but I had some time, so I went into a bookstore in the airport, and they had this book and ran across. It said, business model canvas, and I looked at it. I was like, whoa, this is a diamond. This is a jewel right here. And I started flipping through it, right? And it was these, and so I always heard about business plans, business models, how do you help them? But nothing was ever really clear around business, people seeing business model. I looked at this and this helped me see my model. I said, oh, I have to use this with clients and have to use this with people. So I digested it, kind of digested the components of it. And then I said, oh, I got to begin to help using this, use this with other people so that they can kind of describe what their business model is. And so kind of the back end of it is the business model canvas is a one-page tool. It's a one-page tool that allows you to be able to describe the 9 components of your business. It's like one page. So you can take these components and now put it all on one page. So you can now see, right? It's like for artists and creators, it's like seeing everything in one space.
Yes.
That's what this thing does.
And I just told you, I was telling Tronn that that's one of the biggest challenges artists have, because we have so many ideas. We have so many creative projects we want to work on, that we have a problem getting it all out because we don't see it clearly, right? We're just these out of the box creative visual thinkers. But in order to do business, it's better to see it as a plan. And that one pager really, really helps.
Yeah, so I mean that's exactly, and I think you hit two things on the nail head. People, when you talk about business and we talk about most of the time when people are in business, they begin to think about, and people begin to say, you need a business plan, you need a business plan, you need a business. And so what happens is people begin to put together a business plan, and it could take weeks, it could take 3, 4, 5 weeks. And what happens
So
is if
intense.
your entrepreneur gets frustrated. They get
Mhm.
frustrated because they're a technician, right? They're a technician. So they don't, we understand the importance of the business plan and flushing out those ideas. But what these guys have done with this tool is they said, okay, before you do business plan, let's now develop a picture of what that looks like. And then we can begin to flush out the other piece. I
Right.
jump into we
Mhm.
use religious language. You jump into write the vision, and then make it plain, right? So this canvas allows you to be able to write the vision and use that side of the brain. Like you said, artists have many ideas. And then how do we take those ideas and put them into a place out of our brain onto a medium so that we can now look at it?
Yes.
That's what
So,
this is.
yes, exactly. So tell us, we know, we want to know, what are the 9 components? What are the areas? What are the segments? And we're gonna use me as a case study, right? Because I walked through every
Yep.
single segment, we broke it down, we looked at it. Who are you really? Who are you serving? Where do your people hang out? What tools do you need? So you tell us, what are the 9 components of the business model canvas?
Yep. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen,
Okay.
and I'm going to show you the things that we did several years ago and just
Yep.
walk back into it like we did it. So here, one of the tools, this was like 3 basic tools that we use based upon where they are and what the entrepreneur, the artist, the creative, the business owner, basically what they, how they want to do it. So our first thing that we did, that you and I did, and I don't know if you can see this,
I
this
can see
is
it.
the personal business model canvas.
Yep.
So what this is it's like the business model canvas, the canvas, you're thinking like a canvas, right? Especially artists and creatives, if you're an artist, a canvas, right? You look and there's a blank canvas. I have these ideas and it's a blank canvas. But what this is a preset template that allows you to be able to now pull out of those ideas and put it into those blocks.
Right.
There's
So am I going to
9.
answer? Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to answer these questions, but I want to show you these 3 because we started
Okay.
here. We started with your personal business model canvas because you did have the Myesha, that company, right? You did that company portion of it, but we wanted to start at and just dig into your personal business model as a person first.
Yep.
And then we did this and walked through this in the 9 building blocks. And then we went into here. So you flushed out who I am or who Myesha was, who are the components for her, and then we went to this. So our first thing was like we are asking you, we walked through, who do you help, which is that first block with the person. It's like who do you help, and then that's called your customer segments. Then we walked in how you interact, right? This was your customer relationships. Then we walked through how do they deliver, which is your channels. Then we walk through your value proposition, which is one of the most important pieces, was your value proposition campus, which we'll go through here more in a second. Then we walked into key activities. The key activities, we see the person with the shovel in his hand. What are the key things that you do as a person, right? As an individual person. And then we looked at below that as the key resources, what things that you had in order to be able to make your personal business model go. And then you have who do you help? It's like a marriage, like who do you partner with? And then we get down to like a little bit of the sticky stuff, right? The sticky stuff is like what you get means revenue and benefits, and then what you give, which is relationship to cost. So the first thing we did, and I remember our session very clearly, the first thing we did, we walked through this. We walked through this.
I remember at that time, I just knew, I was selling art, I was doing paint and sip parties, I was doing a lot of stuff and making money, but I knew at that time I wanted to help artists, conscious creatives, artists and I wanted to work with those types of artists and people. And I remember saying that. And I remember saying, well, this is what I do now. And you were like, okay, well, who do you want to help and who do you want to work with? And that's how I was able to get to this moment, because at first it was like, well, who do you help? And I was like, well, I help people who need to relax. Like, that's who I serve. So.
Yeah, and I remember, you flushing out, you flushed that out, and we dug a little bit deeper, right? Okay, it's more than who you just want to help, people want to pay, who want to relax. Who do you help? Let's get more specific. Let's get more into the demographic, of who they are, right? And so when we talk about those customers, kind of just going a little bit deeper into that. Let me jump over. So we did that portion. And then we jumped into the business model that you were developing, that you were framing, right? And so we went from the individual person now to a bigger framework, the Myesha, Francis, the company, the Galleria, which the personal business model canvas fit into your business model canvas, right? And so it's not something separate from you. It's like your personal model is personal picture. It now fits into this business. So you bring you into a bigger model. You bring your gifts into a bigger model. So I wanted you to be able to see that, as an artist, and not go into this whole business part, which sometimes is not as sexy for a creative. It's not as sexy for an artist. It's not as sexy, but if we're building that bridge, right? Building that bridge of this is who I am, and then now this is what I'm building in order for the sustainability, in order to be able to get my ideas and express that out there. We needed to have that learning moment. And it happened for us. We had that learning moment in that bridge. And so creatives and artists need to also make that bridge.
Yes.
Make that bridge.
And if I can interject, because for me, for some artists, it may be that I am a rock and roll person, so how do you bring that rock and roll person into your business model canvas? For me, it was like, I am a spiritual person. How do I bring that spirituality into my business model canvas? Yeah, is what I hear you. That's what we.
Yeah, definitely. And so when we talk about, that learning piece, right? Because what we were able to do in that first part was we were able to fit, when you look at customer segments, your value proposition, and your key activities. When we did that on a personal end, you was able to clarify your personal mission statement. And so what happens when we went to the business end, it was your personal business statement now flipped into a model, a structure, into a business model canvas. So those two should lean together and be together so that you won't have mission drift. So you're staying, your business won't have mission drift.
Ooh,
and so that
good.
you will stay focused on what you're called and what you're desired to do.
As a person, as a person and as an artist in your business. That's deep, because that's huge for artists. We are taking our personal visions, perspectives, ideas, feelings, and put it into our art, which then we need to turn into money. So that's huge. That's good. So so we started with the personal business model, then we went into the business model canvas. Are we going to walk through one of these today? And which one do you want to walk through?
Yeah. So this is the business. Okay. Yeah, this is the business model canvas. So we fit that into this. And so let me just kind of go into these. When you talk about your business, there's your working in your business and then working on your business, right? And so the artist and the creative is very comfortable with working in your business. Mm-hmm. So when we begin to do the business model canvas, it's begin to look at the components, the 9 components, so we can begin to work on your business. Right? We want to work in and on your business.
Now, because this is what you told me, and now I had an aha moment, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry I even interrupted you, but now we're working on our business. Okay.
Yes. And so not in an exhaustive way, right? So we want to work on your business, but we don't want you to get exhausted in working on your business. We want you to have this good balance, a good balance of working in it, and then a good balance of working on it. Especially is for creatives. And so I'm trying to weave through some of this because there's the entrepreneur, I mean, there's the artists who have the belief systems about their entrepreneurship. I mean, about being the artist. But then there's also some beliefs about being an entrepreneur. And so what I want to do is get into those myths and get into those belief systems and make it as such, and make it so secure that you're now to be able to build around it, right? That you're able to build. And so you're less the risk. You know, you always hear your family say, your family members say, especially for artists and creatives, you hear them say, how you going to take care of yourself? What you going to do? You know, right? How this can't sustain itself. You ain't gonna be able to sustain it because the family's looking at the risk of it. They're looking at the risk of it and doesn't understand the business model portion and how you build those pieces in order to be able to do it. And so what this does, it doesn't make it exhaustive. It puts it in bite-sized chunks, a clear picture so that you can move forward. So when we talk about there's those 9 blocks of it. One is we're digging down into your customer segments. Who do you serve? Digging into that. Do I serve conscious creatives? Do I'm serving artists? Do I'm serving graphic artists? You know, what is the graphic that you serve, right?
Let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of artists think that, well, I serve everybody. My work is for anybody who want to buy it. My work is for everybody. My work is for, you know, I paint horses and anybody can buy a horse painting, but everybody doesn't want to. So you're serving horse lovers. Let's make that clear. You're serving people who want to buy horse paintings, you know, so you're not serving people who like art, because everybody who likes art doesn't want to buy paintings of horses. So yes. I remember clearly, you know, saying, okay, I remember you asking me, who do you serve? And I said, well, people who want to relax. And you were like, well, what kind of people who want to relax? Specifically, who is your segment? And so it kind of took me into really thinking deeper about who I serve and who I wanted to serve. Because of course I could serve ladies, you know, that just want to turn up and party, but I really rather serve women who want to actually slow it down and find a little bit of relaxation and peace through art.
Yes.
And both of them are paint parties, or, you know, but, you know, so what really is your segment?
Yes. And so you hit the nail on the head, which is in the second box that we focus on. So one is the customer segments of who, right? Women who want to be in those paint parties with people who love horses. And then the second is the value proposition, right? Is what problem do you solve for those women?
Yeah. And real quick, I'm sorry to.
No, you're fine. We're fine. You're fine.
But I remember also we did sticky tabs. And so in that customer segment, we had sticky tabs of who do you currently serve? And then we had sticky tabs of who do you want to serve?
Yes.
And I remember, I just wanted to add that.
No, that was perfect. That's perfect. Because in that piece, right, part of our design time in that is we're gonna connect. We're gonna connect the customer segment who wants a paint party. They want one thing to be solved in their value proposition, right? And then you have someone who's a horse lover. So in their customer segment, they are horse lovers, and so their value proposition, they love looking at horses. So you're creating value for them because they love 2 different customer segments. 2 different customers are 2 different things, 2 different passions, 2 different pains, 2 different, you know, ways of being able to go or being able to approach those customer segments.
Yep. Because so, that's good. I had about 4 because I had my paint and sip people who wanted to party and turn up. I had my people who buy my jazz art who wanted to be reminded of New Orleans. I have some representation of New Orleans. I had people who bought my abstract pieces who wanted to have some kind of spiritual moment in their home or in their space. And I think I had one other segment, I can't remember, but they were all different segments, and I had a different value proposition for them all.
For each one of them. Yep. And then I'm going to jump over. So one of the reasons we do custom segments, then we do value propositions, then we do key activities. The key activities and the value proposition, there's a difference. The value proposition is, you know, what pains or gains that you saw from the key activities are the things that you do with them. So the key activities is the paint party, right? It's the paint and sip. it is doing art, it is doing the pottery. Those are the key activity things that you do in order to be able to solve those value propositions. And so those three things become the first key boxes that we cover when we're talking about doing your business model canvas. And then we just stop and look at those and say, okay, this is my customer segment, horse lovers, right? This is what they do. They have an enthusiasm about horses. And what I do is my key activity is I paint horses on a canvas so that they can now purchase them. We made those three links.
And have a sense of, it might be expanded to say, and have a sense of peace and nostalgia when they walk into their home or office. So that was the key activity, the painting of the horse for the horse lover, which is the customer segment.
Yep. And so on a drop back, then there's customer relationships. It's just how you interact, how the type of interaction that you have with that specific group. And then you have the channels by which describes how you communicate with those specific groups. Go ahead.
Because customer relationships, you mean, so for instance, that was, do you see them face to face? Do you see them on Zoom? Do they come in and purchase? Do you do paint and sip online? So those were how you, or is it email? By email, I have people who bought paintings I've never met. So that was the customer relationships. And then the channels are how you actually
deliver that to them.
Deliver it to them.
How you deliver it to them. So it's that truck, right? So this is the customer segment. I do emails and letters to them in order to be able to get them this value proposition. They go into the store, right? So one is how we interact. Customer relationship is the phone, email, those things. Channel, the channel is how I get that to them. How do I deliver that to them? Is the channel. Could be online, could be internet. Those are those things. Yeah, with media, blogs, those things. And then jumping over, then you have your key resources. The key resources are the things you need in order to be able to develop to run this model, right? These are the key resources. They're not the activities, but they're the key resources. I need an iPad, I need, pens, I need paper. Those are those types of things you need in order to be able to run your model. And then the other box that's all the way in the corner is partnerships. Who do you partner with? Right? Who do you partner with in this model? Right? In terms of this describes, you may have, hey, I'm an artist. I may work with, other artists in order to be able to do, certain work or certain aspects of my work, right? Partnerships are good. And then at the bottom, you have the revenue streams. And these are which ways that you now bring in money, right? Which ways do you bring in money? So Myesha, which ways, if you're talking about, remember, which ways did you bring in money? What were your revenue streams? How did you bring money in?
At that time, it was paint and sip, original paintings, and I think teaching. Those are my three revenue streams. So that was actually the customer segment too, my students, because I was like part-time at that time. So those are my revenue streams: paint and sip, original paintings, and teaching.
Yep. And then the other piece is, and the last piece is your cost structure, right? What does it cost you in order to be able to operate, operate this model?
Yep, right? I remember that part too clearly, because, just taking into effect the cost of supplies and materials, the cost of website, the cost of, whatever, all the other things it took to run a business.
Yep. And so these things, these 9 blocks, when you do, you do it and you put it in as a sticky note. You put it all in one place and you're able to say, okay, this is my model, right? Yep. This is my model as it currently is. And then you begin to ask the questions, what is missing, right? What needs to be moved? What needs to be, now that I have a picture of it, what needs to be changed? And so from here, from the canvas is when we begin to flesh out a further strategy, because each one of these departments can now begin to help you craft your messaging, begin to craft your finances, begin to craft, who you work with, what some of the things you need to change. And so as one part of it changes, you begin to move the other parts around so that because your business model is changing, but right? but
Oh,
you were aware of it.
yeah. Oh, this is so powerful. It was so clear. I wish I would have forethought this and had my business model canvas, because I remember he was like, create it. I made it creative. I made it colorful. My lines, they were not black. I had washi tape and they were all colorful and pretty colors. So I had it, pinned up in sticky notes, and it wasn't too big. It was just enough for me to see it. I knew, like, this is where I am. This is where I'm going. And I could take sticky tabs and move it around. So that was so dope. Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah, our aha moments, right, were amazing during that time. It was just it's amazing. You're seeing the light bulb go off. You're seeing the connections being made. At the same time, it was a very interesting like weaving of past, present, and future, right? So you could see you in that infinity thing of, okay, yeah, this is where I was, right? This is where
Oh,
I am,
that's
and
so
then okay,
good.
this is where I'm going.
You
And
have a few more
so,
minutes, because we could talk about that for just a few minutes.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I
Yeah.
was in the middle of a transitional period, right? Because I was doing some things that I knew I didn't want to do anymore, and I wanted to go into some other things. I had experienced some great successes and some deep failures, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? And I kind of felt, as an artist, lost, broken, just kind of
Mhm.
um in that moment. And then I remember you clearly sharing with me that people think success is like this. Success is really like this, and that's so true for artists, and a lot of times what you're doing as a younger artist, you may not do as an older artist. You have to pivot some things. Maybe when you were younger, you could run around and put a whole bunch of shows in coffee shops all over the city. And when you get older and you have kids or other responsibilities, you don't have the time and space to do that. So that comes crashing down, even though that was successful for you. And now you see you need to change your business model, where you have to plan out maybe just 6 art markets you can do a year. And
Mhm.
so it crushes, because you know that this worked, but you can't do it anymore. You don't have the space and time to do it anymore. And you have to retrack and replan. So I just wanted to jump in and say that, because you were talking about what success looks like. And for artists, you are an entrepreneur from day one if you're trying to sell your creations and your artwork. So it's just part of the journey.
Yeah, I love how Seth Godin says this, and he's like one of the marketers. He's got his book out called The Practice. He says, okay, if your art is just for you, that's fine. He was like, if you're just doing your art and it's just for you, then that's fine. He said, but if you're doing your art for someone else to sell, you need to build a business model around in order to be able to sell it. And so
Mm.
you need to have these business components. And so what we're saying is this canvas helps you begin to frame those systems and components in
Yep.
order to be able to gather. So if you're creative, hey, if it's just for you, don't, if you're artist, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about selling it, then there are some things you got to put together in place so that so that your art can sell, that you can, or your expression, right? Even if you say I don't want to sell it, but I want to get my idea out there.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a framework that you have to put together in order to be able to get
Yeah.
your idea out there,
And see
right?
it so that you don't get lost in it, in the ups and downs of it. That's it.
Yeah. And so our goal, the goal is, right, is that risk, right? Is that risk. You want to be able to look at what that risk is and begin to deal with it and begin to work through it, right? You just don't want the risk to be blind. You want to be said, okay, this is my risk. This is the chance that I'm taking. I want to know it so that I can now, right, take the steps. This business model canvas helps you take the steps in order to be able to mitigate the risk and then build off of it. So you're building off those successes, right? Building off those successes, especially as us who don't have a lot of money, right? You have some money, you can throw some money out, you can do it. But for us who want to incrementally grow, this is what so I'll just give you an example. Uber, they use a business model canvas, right? Lyft, they use software using business model canvas. Um, all of these, your smaller, innovative companies in their launch phase, in their idea phase, they're using this to flush out their ideas. So how come as creatives can do the same thing? Artists can do the same thing. It's use the same tool. Success has clues and tools. Yes, let's use them to be successful and grow and get our expressions out there. That's our,
expressions out. Yes, thank you so much for that. Listen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, do you want to do an example of it, or do you want to show the one that we're doing for this piece? Which one do you want to do?
Of what? Wait, say that again.
You want to do a test run of one, or do you want to show ours, or you want to show one, or you want to do one?
Let's do one.
Let's do one. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, you have a question too? I'll stop and.
No.
So we'll do one very simple.
Yeah, let's make up an artist, and we'll, because we were gonna, okay. Are we gonna do it of me? I'm fine with doing it of me.
Okay, we'll do a very simple one.
Okay.
Right? We'll do a very simple one. And so this is what happens in space and time when you work with us in terms of being able to do your business model canvas. And so what we do is,
real quick, if I just do a plug, by us, he means you can work actually with us in a group coaching, and you can find out more information at mfrancisgallery.com/workwithme, and you can find out more information about that, and we'll talk about it more at the end. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Tronn.
No, you're fine. And so, we come alongside you, right? We're coaches. So we'll come alongside you using the tools in order to be able to flush out your idea. But this is an example of what that will look like when we begin to be able to get together, as one of our initial early conversations. And so we're just like artists. So we're artists, you're artists and creators, and so are we. So we want to use those visual tools in order to be able to help us, flush out our idea. And so here, in terms of online, we're using Jamboard as our means of being able to get our idea, be able to get our idea out. So we'll just do a simple one, And so, okay, Myesha, so tell me, who is your customer, right? Who is your customer?
Okay, so we'll use this coaching as an example. So my customer is conscious creatives and artists.
Okay, I gotta scoot closer and take off my glasses. CONSCIOUS. Okay, I think that's it. I always.
Yeah, that is all. I always spell it wrong and let them correct it. CONSCIOUS.
There we go.
Yeah. Conscious creatives. Artists. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. How about we just go there? All right.
All right.
And so just move stuff and move it around. And so your customers are conscious creatives and artists, right? And we use sticky note, right?
Yep.
All right. And question number 2, right, is what problem do you solve, right? What problem, or what's keeping them up at night? What problem do you solve for those conscious creatives?
How to make a living from their creative gifts.
All right. Is there any other?
/ how to leave their jobs so that they can create. How to leave their jobs so that they can create more, so that they can create more. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop. And so just so they can see us moving it and doing it, right? So what you do is you help them leave their jobs and create more. You give them the space, the freedom, right? The time. You give them the systems and the time and your knowledge so that they can now create more and they can make a living from their art, right? That's what you solve for them, those tools, right? So, yep. All right, so what do you do? What are your key activities? What are the things that you do with artists to be able to, help them have more jobs and things like that, and have more time?
we start at the beginning. So we develop their artistic vision.
Yep.
Develop their vision. Yeah, there got to be a different color, huh? Oh, okay. We develop their portfolio.
Uh-huh.
Develop portfolio. We dive into the business model canvas, which is, and now we'll talk about,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Business model canvas.
Yeah. We provide coaching for them. Yeah.
So much more, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Coaching.
help them figure out how to enter the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
We'll
to enter market. Yeah.
just for the sake of time, I know we're eager for the time. We'll just do this, right?
Okay.
So we help them develop, develop their visions, develop their portfolios, do their business model canvas. We provide for them coaching, right? And so we're able to see here, we're able to see just from these three boxes, for conscious creators, we help them leave their jobs and create more, right? We do this by helping them develop their division, their portfolio, their business model canvas. We provide them coaching. For artists, we may help them make a living from their creative gifts. How do we do it? By developing their portfolio, their coaching, their business model canvas, and develop their vision. So this is who we are. This is who they are. This is what we do. This is what we help them do. And then this is what the activities that we help them do. This is the core part of your mission statement. If we were to look back at it, this is the core part of your mission statement.
Right.
Right. All right. And then let's look at your customer relationships. How do you relate to, how do you relate to those conscious creatives?
So through Zoom calls.
Yep.
Emails.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Zoom calls. I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna do them on Zoom calls. I'm doing it on one and emails. Yeah, we'll just keep it simple here.
All right.
All right. And then the channels, those channels, how do you do it? Right? How do you do it? Social media.
And again, Zoom.
Yeah. Social media. Yeah.
Yep, we could leave that there.
Yeah, we can just leave it. Yeah. So I just put it in the places. So relationships with them. Yeah. Zoom calls and media, then the channels. How do you deliver it? So in order so that these artists are your customer segment, you communicate with them, right, through Zoom calls, so that, and through Zoom calls, social media, and emails, so that they can create jobs or leave their jobs and make a living in their creative spaces, or you make a living using their creative gifts. All right. So just some key resources. What are some of the resources that you use to help run your model? Right. What are some of the key things that you use?
Definitely the website. Yeah. Zoom again. Key resources. Yeah, I mean, there's more. There's a lot more.
Just making it simple. Yeah. And then who do you partner with in your work? Who do you partner with in this model?
Moller, y'all. So Tronn Moller. I would even say Victoria Tempo. She's another.
Okay, Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria Temple. She's an amazing artist and art coach. But she does art retreats.
Yeah. Boom. Yep. So there we go. Right. All right. And then how do you generate revenue with your model?
Okay. So with this stream, it would be through coaching fees or coaching prices.
Yeah. It would just see coaching fees. Yeah.
Even, smaller webinars, small webinars.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And then just a general, either how do you, just a general cost, just throw a number, some numbers, or
Let's say $500 a month, you know,
okay, yeah,
for hosting and all that kind of stuff and
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, office space.
yeah, $500 a month, yeah. Let's say office space, yeah. And so,
Office, web hosting,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
let's say workshop materials.
yeah,
Yeah, materials. Yep.
yeah. And so there we go. And so
Mhm.
just as a glance, and I'll be able to pull some things and move some things around so that you can see them. Right. So now this becomes a one-page picture of your business model.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yep.
So this is that one-page picture of your business model. This is
And
that
this
one.
is
It's
just
so,
one stream, you know.
yeah.
So it's so powerful if you did this. If I, you know, I've done it for multiple streams, but this is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is what it does. So now we're
Sure.
able to plan from this. We're able to look at your structure. We're able to begin putting together your budget. We'll be able to put together your marketing plan. We'll be able to put together your back office systems. We're able to put all that together just by looking at this, right?
Yep.
So just give an
Without having
example.
to write a 50-page business plan, y'all.
Right.
Artists
So
not about that life. We not
that's
about
right. That's right.
that.
So that's right. So I just show you what we and Myesha what we're talking about, what we do. So let's say just looking at this, Myesha, and what would be some next step that you want to take just looking at this picture? What would be like two things that you want to do just looking at your picture?
So I think I would want to work more on the key partners. I would want to add some more sticky tabs. You know,
Okay. Yep. So I'm just gonna put it here. I'm gonna
mhm.
do this, just change the shape here. Boom.
I'm all about collaboration. So more collaborations. I would want to, oh, okay, I'll wait till you finish that part.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, that's the next steps, right?
But I would put more collaborations. Yeah, next steps would be more collaborations.
Yeah. What else do you want to do just looking at this?
So the channels, like we put social media and Zoom, I would want to be real clear on, let me see, customer relationships. You know what, maybe under customer relationships, I would want to send out personal letters or messages, something in the actual mail, and I'll have to figure that out. But that's something I would want to work on,
right?
To build that relationship.
Yep. So that's what we'll do. So in our time, right? In our time with Myesha, I was talking about, she's able to look at this one-page picture and then come back and say, okay, looking at this, oh, I see that now I have to increase my collaboration. So I have collaborations with Victoria, but I may want to increase my collaborations. Oh, wow, I want to send more personal emails. So we're now going to be able to get down into the details of what she wants to do in order to be able to move her business forward. That's the purpose of this canvas. Look at it and then help you move your business forward. That's our goal.
Right. That's exactly what this thing does, y'all. It helps you to see it really clearly. And now I can say, oh, that section over there is kind of, sparse. What else could I do to move this? Yeah. And Zoom, my relationships, just Zoom and emails, that's not enough for me. I would want to serve and give more. Yeah. That's good.
And so in your coaching time, that's your coaching time, we look at, right? We look at those next steps. What are those things that conscious creatives and artists need to do to move their business forward? What steps do they need to be able to take? And so we're with you to take those steps. That's the goal. Use this to take those steps,
And I just want to chime in. Don't stay stuck. As artists, we know we're creative. We know we're brilliant. But don't stay stuck. As an art teacher, and I teach gifted and talented art these past couple of years, I see the brilliance, the talent, the talent. I have a student who does fashion design, music. He can draw
Mm.
like nobody's business, but I know he's just swirling in his head. He's stuck, right? And so this is what helps you to get it out and to actually move it forward. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I
Good,
appreciate,
y'all.
your opportunity, the opportunity to be able to share, to be able to share what this business model canvas and how it can help those creatives. If you're, this is a one-page picture. It's a one-page picture of, how do I function? How do I operate? It's easy to understand. It's easy to help you build around, right, that uncertainty. Build a thing around and get some certainty and then begin to move your business forward. That's the goal.
So listen, guys, if you are interested in learning more and doing more and diving deep into this, we have developed an amazing program called Business for Conscious Creatives and Artists to help you grow and flow into what you do. So we have a unique framework that we've developed. It's called Divine, and it goes into development. We start off with that. We talk about in the market. We jump into the business model canvas, all of that. So you can definitely find out more information at www.mfrancisgallery.com. I'll put it in the chat /work with me. Again, it's mfrancisgallery.com /work with me. And I'm putting that in the chat right now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a question in the comments. And we are happy to answer and to serve you as much as we possibly can through this medium. But if you want to go deep and you're ready to go higher and, in your art career, then definitely come on over and check the link out. So is there anything closing out you want to say, Tronn?
Yeah, just thank you. Yeah, thank you for
Thank
opening
you.
up this space and
Mm.
then allowing me to be in this space with you. So yeah.
And one last thing, y'all, there will be more. We're going to do another video. We're going to do one on sketch design or design sketching.
Design thinking and how.
Design thinking.
Yep.
So we'll be back with more and we're going to share more and keep giving and pouring. So please like, subscribe, share with your other artist friends so that we can keep spreading this message far and wide. All right. So thank you. Peace and love,
Peace and
everybody.
love.
Thank
Yes.
you. And we will see y'all next time.